Let's face it. Sit. Sights. Sights wouldn't told to each other. Let's face it. Let's face it. Let's all take that as of love. Love, look, let's face it, we're undone by each other. There, I'm undone. Wouldn't talk to each other, and my thoughts told to each other, we're undone. And if we're not, we're missing something. I'm if we're not, we're when not to misuse. This seems so clear. Clearly thoughts import. So cool, see? Cool, see? This seems so clearly the case with grief. The kinds of grief. You seem missing something you see so clearly. The case with grief. Kinds of grief center like old times. Please, like old times. This seems so clearly the case with grief. So can't we? Like old times? But it can be so only because it was already. Can be sent, and because it is already the case with desire. You want desire. One, because I can. You want, wonder does, what it is, what's to his. Because of an advocate, you want the case with desire. Ready the case with the final one. Because wonder does not always stain. Tact. Tactful. One does not always stay intact themselves, they say. Facing. Spacey, Stacy, ecstasy. You suck. Ecstasy breaks. One does not always stay intact. One does not always stay in touch. Stained text, they say. Wasting text one may want to, but I want to check. One may want to touch when they have one, being wanting for far, almost, or manage to, once you manage my needs. Try for a while. You want to try. You want to help or manage to for a while. Almost did, you hope. What did you hurt fighting me? Managed to be for a while, but despite us both, just one's best efforts, please. Conspecifics want space to step. What's best if one's best ever thoughts? Despite this, the storm is done in the face of the upset. To step over the storm, one is undone. Thoughts undone in the face, often the face of the other, in the face of upset. By the touch, other by the thoughts, other benefits. What's best if what's up, what isn't, what's the book's up, over, so one is undone. Over. So I'm done in. The face upset by the touch, upset by the text. I wanted to eat. One is undone in the face of the other, by the touch, by the thoughts, by the scent. And to schedule thoughts medicine. By field, missing monochrome, I sent to you the things by the scent, by the feel, by the prospect of the touch. Touch other perspectives. Expected something. Expected touch with the memory of the field of clear touch. By the memories feel. Muscles are in session. Some muscles are incessant. Phosphorescent. Skin shifting into its form. I miss you. As they say, what one repeats is dead. What one repeats is the scene in which one is acting, and see which ones are the days in which one is living. Is not that dictates which seemingly one is again. The days in which one is living, the days in which one is leaving. Wandering rivermen dream bewitched, see which redoing to which was even, which one is it? Dazed one was living, one was leaving, one was speaking, which agonizing the coming and going, becoming a drama, which one is doing. And I, and die, this dies. Somebody's little processing of personal attention, processing of intentions, language learning orientations within this. because the machine processing and our own orientations of language skin, here is something. Here there's something of the machine, like digital muscles shifting. I'm in here, and nothing such a function to solve. I'm not exactly sure what, to somehow operate some of the processes. The words, the sounds of the words, the sounds calciphylaxis. On the axis, accumulations of characters addressing each other. Examinations of characters, addressing the huntress. A stage where something will happen. It stays, stained. Stage vision background check, sound envisioning blue, electric trip, synthetical. Does this mean some kind of staging? Does this mean sometimes staging something? Descriptions scheduled or stage prompts or asides describe what is taking place, staged inside temporary congealments. Describe what is taking place inside. Indicators of processes, like summer is already. These are so interesting and perhaps not secondary. Don't stick to talk and various orientations within the possible. The space of the conversation is keen to hear others' thoughts. Look out loud into the flat foot script, the stream script, strong transcript, I wonder, whether next to the stream, intended to continue up and come to the story, authority attempting it. I send you picture substance by sedimentation, sending mention accordingly. You need your sensitivities in passing, reveal us, leave you a sense of bodies in process that rises and falls unforced. Gleam needs nearly, first references gleaming beneath, phosphorescent skin shifting, the status of the sounds, of sounds shifting the scale of fish actions, introduced firstly, since, status of the sails shifting, the scales of fish soundscapes actions whirl like wheels, alliance uncoils like cables, quietly killed. And the lights were like oysters, always scarce, make their shell hinges squeak. Politically poisonous fictional engines that are folded tentacles, reduced like those crystals, quivering like false questions. Unfold fun old funfair medusae, quiver like river lakes, suspended sponges floating over and over, anemones and enemies. Voting, standard functions that are happening tighter and tighter. Anemones elaborate water exactly. Want to rack, and the masses of growing sea mosses have grown water rack, all about marking tides. What can sea messages growing more right now? About all sorts of apparent about ourselves. Plan, extend themselves into branches, apparent and approaching and well. Interchange random selves, twist round themselves like baroque ferns, foreground themselves, fog, platform, reference lianas interlace like serpents, to lace listen, to place like sex listening, I have nothing planned. Separate delays, the games of Babylon, dangers of problems. Mantra chorusing, that root runs through the grasp. And now and hold and other. Graphs grasp, trees bear human heads. Polypories that seem like trees have arms upon their branches. Animal body, probably pulmonary branches answered. He thinks he sees a caterpillar between two leaves, but a butterfly takes flight off vocabulary. Accumulated vocal takes flight to find. Likely to find approach, he is about to step on a pebble. A grey locust leaps away. Great luck leaks away. Fragments of the family form a snowy layer upon the soil, where the metal supplements remedies for us. So we later the slow form from somewhere where the plants become confounded with the stones. Confronted with steel, compounded still flints assume the likeness of brain static, place this year processing the likeness of brain that counts, validates, clarifies, assembles. Please assume the politeness of states of static types, of states clarifying resembles stalactites. Press the flower of iron like I am, floss ferry, a stalactitic variety of aragonite. Flower of iron resembles a figured tapestry, a sugared history. Feed a semblance. He sees efflorescences in fragments of ice. He doesn't trust his eyes after. Ice his fantasies plasticized before senses. I figured his story fragments of eyes increase also. Fragments of advice, intensive stuff, time. Like on Mars, ice imprints of shrubs and shells and selves. Are they imprints or the things? Immigrants, only other things, only one who thinks themselves. Go out with many, only other things, he throws himself down upon the ground, frozen. Horses depart, and horses on the ground, and leaning in meaning upon his elbows, and hang up on his elbows, watch his breath, and then hang subject that just breathlessly, so you press the body senses, vibrations listening. A lifetime. This thing is a lifetime. It depends on accumulated experiences. So we going, you late, it would well on its, if listening can be focused, you think, or opened up to the entire field. Taste the brain by the ears, which is agreements, take something to be all thick relation, symbiotic. Symbiotic reminding I have something, last kind with the rest of that I have containing what's nice. Estimates emotion, getting late, lost to the point of postponed until my pulses processed any notion should let apart. Bursting, I long to fly, to swim, to bark, to bellow, and is to howl. Is that how you are? How are things? Would that I had wings, a carapace, a shell. I compare it now. I could breathe out. I divide myself, find myself, haven't had everything, be in everything, everywhere emanate and make not that I can ask you. Odours like plants emanate, and tonight animated unloaders ask about the love of another. I'd ask about myself, the plants, develop the parts, a flow like water, like soundshine, like light upon all forms. Each atom, dark night, light swathes crossing. Find I'll just talk tonight. What I call text sounds, chalk-like scratching up on our programs, and I'll try to chase inside, to the behemoth itself, inside some form to accept action of silence, about that, patiently. Dreams taking tokens and talking, intoxicate me by images and language. Nature having means resorting directly to chemical stances. Increase the text and sending it to generation. Side defects, dependent pics, freeze, and sending which reach went back to the talking. You can care into text streams or accounts of hallucinations, any sanctions of weight, bloodhounds of flight as ways of producing dream consistency, to see neuronal new writing, toxicity using memory, imagination frees sensation. I'm also attaching. I wondered if the text the computer produces is actually quite difficult. I wanted it to, you see, this is actually about, I wanted speech. You could say this is an opportunity in the speech. If that takes, you could see this in the speech to text you sense, and a translation of speech presents for me to activate secret. And because the deletion created potentially problematic keeps skipping, interesting propensity to contact, anyway becoming a hustle and flow, punctuated by sedimentation, Of all cells, I'm thinking mention on substance. According to reveals, meeting you need your sense of bodies, sensitivities in passing, mutual transformations that occur, chance with transmissions between my body and trust issues, what I question, what I consume,